because of your support, because of you all showing up, because I don't have to take a dime in corporate money, you allow me to say no. But not everyone is so lucky. I have seen firsthand how these groups bully and pressure members of Congress, threatening to either take money away
Remember what
or
Pelosi
spend it
did
against
to her
them if they don't do
before
what
she
they
voted
want.
in favor of the Iron Dome
And
funding?
what they want is for our lives to be as expensive as possible on the lowest possible wage. Big money is how we got Donald Trump. And his whole presidency began with launching tools for bribery, meme coins to fleece working people and move around money in the dark, extortion settlements from media companies and law firms who gladly pay them. They have one central economic mission: to make billionaires richer at the expense of the United States of America. But this isn't just about the Republican attacks on working people, LA. We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us too.
I wish AOC had Bernie's cadence. She's not angry enough. I don't think Bernie's angry enough either, you know? It's more like a stern talking to. I do think we need like a fucking psychopath to lead this movement now. We need somebody doing like a punished, you know, scar running down the eye. Absolutely insane fervor, you know? Yeah, we need a mad dog. We need a hot dog.
Hate is a trap that sinks us all. And it is standing together without exception to reject division. That is the only way we can win. It's the only way we can win. So I hope you see that this movement is not about partisan labels or purity tests, but it's about class solidarity. It is about the thousands of you who came out here today to stand together and say our lives deserve dignity and our work deserves respect. No matter who we are here to make a sacred promise to each other. And our goal today is to commit to building the kind of country we all deserve.
If nothing else, assuming we still have a country in a few years, Schumer is done for. I cannot fathom what Schumer could possibly do to continue to hold his seat in the face of this, you know? I still don't get why she's hated by certain lefties. Because she's the most prominent progressive in Congress, so they attack her to prove that they're more woke than her. That's the only reason, really. She's not been perfect all the time, but the specific, deliberate, targeted hatred towards her is because they want to prove that they're not, like, you know, down with the system like she is. You know, like she's been corrupted and captured, but like they're the real subversive ones. Do they hate women? You can invalidate that as a factor. Everyone hates women. You cross those out on either side of the divisor.
And we will make that promise to take care of each other on our worst days and to share in the successes of our best. Thank you so much, Los Angeles. And it is my honor here today to introduce someone who has dedicated his life to bringing us together. So let's get loud and let's be grateful.
Hey, pretty big
Senator
crowd.
Bernie Sanders is in the building.
Wow, look at that.
Come on down, Bernie.
That's pretty good. Especially when you consider in the fact every single one of these people will have needed to drive 45 minutes here and park nearby and then walk from the parking spot over.
Nope. It's not Bernie, it is you. So why are we here in LA today? And the answer is obvious. We are living in a moment of extraordinary danger. And how we respond to this moment will not only impact our lives, but will impact the lives of our kids and future generations. And in terms of the climate, it will depend, we can depend on whether or not.
Notice how the people in the background of these rallies are hot and the ones in the background of Trump rallies aren't? Well, I'm not going to reduce it to them being hot, but I think it is worth noting that for every single Trump rally, all the people behind him were like the same crowd of 50 or 60-year-old white people who followed him around from event to event, and they all have like their custom little sign, and that's like their whole life is like camping. They're like groupies, and here it's like a bunch of young, diverse people who look like, I don't know, maybe they care a bit about politics, not just about like the cult fervor.
The planet Earth survives. That's why we're here today. I trust that all of you know that you are living under a corrupt campaign finance system which allows billionaires to buy elections. Don't tell me about democracy when Musk himself can put $270 million to elect Donald Trump and then get rewarded with the most important position in government. But it's not just Musk and Republicans, it's the Democratic Party as well. Their billionaires tell candidates, don't stand up to the powerful special interest. And too many Democrats are listening to them. And that is why if we want to preserve democracy in America, we've got to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
And we got to move to public funding of elections. In America, one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections.
What elections aren't publicly funded? Marcel 20, you've watched how many streams? Did you really think American elections are publicly funded? Where on earth did you get that impression from? No, they're not publicly funded at all. You need to be wealthy to win an election or convince people to give you their money, which is really hard to do. So usually it's just wealthy people or people who are in the parties that already exist. One of the reasons we have such a locked-in party structure is because one of the only ways to get funding for an election, if you're not independently wealthy, is to be a part of the pre-existing funding, like the systems connected to Republicans and Democrats that allow them to raise money. They're European, their European minds cannot comprehend.
With drug addiction, with alcoholism, with other forms of addiction. But in my honest opinion, the most serious addiction crisis we face is the addiction of the oligarchy toward greed. They got billions and billions of dollars.
I like this rhetoric from Bernie, but I think that I think it's important to understand that the dynamic has shifted past greed and more towards like hate. Like here's a person who's motivated entirely by making money. Warren Buffett. He's really good at it. It seems to be the only thing he cares about. But that's not Elon, right? Like, Elon likes being wealthy. He wants to be more wealthy, but that's clearly not the main thing fueling him. You know? It's hate and spite, and in a lot of cases, Nazism, which overlap, right? It's just like, and this is why, like, you need a mad dog fighting against them. You need someone who's hateful back, because, like, if greed was the only problem here, we wouldn't be seeing what we're seeing. You know? Goes way beyond that.